Valley News Live at 6.
A shopping plaza in our area has a lot of vacant shops, and a national retail store that is there is about to close. The strip mall is along Highway 10, and viewers contacted our whistleblower hotline saying they heard it was about to be demolished. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop looks into those claims and found out the old Easton Shopping Center is about to undergo some major changes for the better.
There hasn't been much over here for a long time.
Brian Dewitt came to the East 10 Shopping Center to get groceries at Cashwise with his family. He says the plaza has gone downhill, and the new owner agrees.
There's been some underinvestment in the buildings.
Diebold says he plans to invest and redevelop the area, and that Moorhead is underestimated. And he's also working with new tenants.
I think it's got a lot to offer, and I'm excited to realize that potential. And I think that you'll find that Moorhead, the community, is actually very, very strong.
Diebold says the area gets numerous shoppers from downtown Fargo and east of Moorhead.
This is one of the best locations for us in the past almost 5 years.
Tran says his Moorhead salon did better than his former Fargo salon. He is already working on his next business venture, a coffee shop, which will be just a few doors down from the nail salon.
I believe he's going to bring more, tenants in pretty quickly.
Tran adds the old owners didn't care about the property. And in the first month with Diebold, he repaved the parking lot, trimmed the trees, and fixed the sidewalks. But what will happen since the major retailer in the lot is closing?
Kmart leaving is probably one of the best things that could happen to this area because it was a low productivity retailer. And that means it's not meeting the needs of the customers in the trade area.
People we talked with in the area said they are eager to see what businesses will pop up.
What would be cool here is a drop-in daycare. I think that'd be cool because there's grocery stores and stuff like that.
It's maybe another restaurant over in this part of town.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
The owner says the East 10 Shopping Center will see a lot of changes over the next year. Of course, with the addition of more tenants, but he says he hopes to make it more welcoming to shoppers by giving it what he calls a much-needed facelift. In Moorhead, Minnesota, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
The Kmart in the plaza is closing. Employees say they don't have an exact date, but were told near December. Items are currently marked down from 10 to 40%. The Bison football team is on the road today, taking on Missouri State, and Alex Egan joins us now for an update on the game. Alex?
Thanks, Cornelius. The Bison taking their top-ranking and unbeaten record to Springfield, Missouri, and a date with Missouri State. It took until the second half for the Bison to take control of the game, powered on by strong defensive play, and Missouri native King Frazier, who punches in 2 touchdowns on the ground in the fourth quarter. The Bison coming away with another Missouri Valley Football Conference victory, 27-3, the final. A big day on the ground for Frazier, and the Bison defense proving to be one of the toughest in the country to run the ball against. Coming up in sports, I'll have complete highlights and reaction from today's win over Missouri State. Cornelius?
Thanks so much, Alex. It's only a few weeks into the hunting season, and some people have already gotten ticketed for driving with their firearm loaded. A local gun shop wants to remind people those firearms must be unloaded when you're heading back home after a day out hunting.
The laws do state that if you're going to transport a firearm, it has to be in the most rearward part of your vehicle, and the ammo has to be as far away from it as you can be. In trucks, that's hard, under the back seat or something like that, and then the ammo has to be in the glove box or in the front.
And as you're heading to and from the field after hunting, sheriff's departments across the area want to remind you, be cautious on roadways because harvest season is in full swing for farmers. If you're on a back country road, don't risk a head-on collision with the beat truck. Go slow and move over so you can both pass safely. 13 people could become Fargo's newest police officers if they meet the requirements. They all applied online and then came in to answer 100 behavior and situation questions important to being in law enforcement. They say not everyone passes the test.
We want people to realize if this is the right career for them or not, because as many people know, this isn't one of those 9-to-5 jobs. You kind of have to have a special personality to be able to put up with the hours and the kind of work environment we're in.
Police say anyone can apply as long as you have college or tech school work under your belt, and it doesn't have to be in law enforcement studies. A 16-week training program is waiting for those who do pass this morning's test, and it can take up to 6 months before an officer can be out on the streets patrolling. Out in California, 3 officers have been shot. 2 of them are dead and 1 remains in the hospital, according to the NBC Palm Springs station. The Palm Springs Police Department says they're trying to figure out what led to the shooting. We'll post more details on our Facebook page once we have them. About 200 people ran in the second annual Defender Dash today that made a loop through Lindenwood and Gooseberry Park. Money raised from the event goes to the Brady Oberg Legacy Foundation, a local organization that helps combat veterans deal with PTSD. Oberg was from Uland, Minnesota, and died in August 2015. The race was started when the coordinator wanted to honor and raise awareness for veterans. Army boots and helmets line the sidewalk as an important symbol.
It's a symbolization of the 22 a day that the suicide rate for veterans right now. And so we thought it would be kind of a nice way just to kind of represent, you know, just seeing the visual of it is kind of I guess a reminder of what we're trying to, you know, accomplish with their awareness out here.
Vogel says the race will be about the same time next year if you'd like to participate. With the presidential election just 31 days away, Donald Trump is apologizing for lewd comments he made about women back in 2005. The apology comes after tape surfaced Friday catching Trump in an unguarded moment. But in his apology, Trump also attacked Hillary and Bill Clinton. Katie Ter reports.
I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Whatever you want. Grab them by the
After those outrageous remarks, finally a contrite Trump.
I said it, I was wrong, and I apologize.
But that remorse quickly turning into an attack.
Bill Clinton has actually abused women, and Hillary has bullied, attacked, shamed, and intimidated his victims.
The nominee's brief apology, believed to be unprecedented in his public life, came after a 2005 tape surfaced, revealing a conversation between Trump and then Access Hollywood host Billy Bush. Trump brags about groping women, laughing off an effort to seduce Access Hollywood's Nancy O'Dell.
It's huge news, Sarah.
No, Nancy, no, this was, and I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a but I couldn't get there, and she was married. Then all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony and everything. She's totally changed her look.
The comments were caught on a hot mic during a publicity tour, 8 months after he married his third wife, Melania, who was already pregnant. Overnight, a deluge of GOP condemnation, leaving Trump no other choice but to repent. One campaign staffer calling it their very own hurricane. GOP Chairman Reince Priebus saying no woman should ever be described in these terms or talked about in this manner, ever. And Paul Ryan disinviting Trump from a scheduled appearance in Wisconsin today, saying he is sickened. Utah's former and sitting Republican governors, along with Republican Congressman Jason Chaffetz and Senator Mike Lee, revoking their support.
I can no longer endorse Donald Trump for president. I just can't do it.
Swing state operatives are calling this the end, and some high-profile voices even demanding he drop out. But Trump isn't leaving.
We will discuss this more in the coming days. See you at the debate on Sunday.
And you can watch that debate tomorrow night on KX4 at 8 o'clock. Later on Valley News Live at 6, Hurricane Matthew is slamming into the East Coast. We have video from some of the hardest hit areas, but first, Justin has your local weather so you can plan your evening.
And we saw mainly cloudy skies today with temperatures of 50 degrees for a high, about 10 degrees below normal. We'll have the full details and weather coming up next.
You're watching Valley News Live on TV, online, and on the go. Always on, wherever you are, whenever you need to know. Valley News Live.